Hello everybody, thank you for joining us. Today we'll be doing a bit of 3D artwork. So if you have your pencil all set, we're going to crank out a quick shape like that. So it doesn't have to be exactly even, but if it's even, it will help your it'll just make some things easier as you go along. So let's bring that down. You could also Google similar images, and there's some wonderful ideas out there. So this hole, let's say this square shaped hole, is being looked at from this angle. So you're going to come right down. That is, so it's kind of like steps. But so all we need for now is just these lines going downward. Right. And then I guess we could add one more. So as I said, that if you go on Google, there's some wonderful ideas out there. Now, if you look at it from a certain perspective, it's already, like it has the feel of a sort of a 2D thing. But now we're going to add in some details. So let's concentrate on putting on some tones into this thing. And we're going to not go overboard with any of them, except if we certainly know that there's no light to be had in certain areas. Those areas can be more intense, and that is, of course, as we go downward and deeper, it makes sense to be darkest there. But right here around the edges, a little dark, and then I'm going to just use the flat of the pencil here. After all, this is a quick exercise so that all you good folks can go back to your work as quickly as possible. So and I'm not necessarily using that same pressure or the same volume of fill that I used here, for instance, where I'm going about back and forth right now. This one is a little lighter compared to that, so the light is hitting this area a little more. But then there's that edge that you could always shade a little more, just to segregate it from what we will try to show as a flatter surface. So what we have is the light source falling on these edges, and then we go about the same exercise, but the challenge is that you have to try to make this one a little darker than that. So I had some kind of object there under the paper actually. So my apologies for that little nit there. We will try to alrighty, so it's looking okay so far. And then I just even that out as much as I can. Now what I do have here is the last one, and it should essentially be the darkest of the lot. So I'm just going to like cross hatch it out. But I did maintain that same flow, so it's darker here, and here also. I do need to make this a little darker, so you might have to go back and forth a little bit, but the idea is generally to segregate. So segregate as in that the lighter objects from the darker ones, and that is where the effect truly begins to materialize. So let's just finish this one off. Bit of smudging helps, and as you see that it's beginning to form that and again, as I said before, that you will probably have to go a little back and forth between the tones that you've already put down, because that's the way it sometimes works. So I'm just making the same tones a little darker. Okay, so now we can also put in a little bit of tone as we're going down. And with the bottom one just like shaded all through. So the purpose is, of course, that we're just trying to like add another thing to it. So if we have to, let's say, stand up a flat object here, and this object, of course, it will not have depending on the color of the object, really. I'm just throwing in an object there, and I'm throwing in a tone that will fit it in somehow. So with that soft light source, I'll just have so much of it going there. As you see, like that's an object standing there with the shadow falling across, trajected across that particular step, if you would call it, or the design perhaps. So there we have it. So a quick exercise in putting down a perspective like a 3D art. Now you could also, again, you can make these darker here to make it like stand out even more, or you could choose the other way, and you could lighten up some other things, like, you know, minimize shadows. It's all it's all to your discretion. But thank you for watching. Please do subscribe and keep in touch. Have yourself a wonderful day.